everyone, welcome back. And today we have a interesting subject. It's some key points or key facts about two great political organization, military and political organization, NATO and the former Pact or Warsaw Pact, which is not anymore, but I think it's a very interesting subject that has so many interesting facts to be unveiled. And we're gonna start with NATO first. What is the North Atlantic Organization Treaty? NATO, which stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a political and military alliance of 30 North American and European countries. It was formed in the wake of the World War II with the purpose of protecting and upholding democratic freedom. Since its formation, NATO has been a key pillar on ensuring the freedom and security of all members through both politically and military means. It's also the largest military alliance in the world today, with more than 3 million military personnel at its disposal. The treaty was founded in 1949 and was signed at Washington, D.C. on 4th April 1949 by 12 founding members, who were Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, United Kingdom, and United States. And this was an intro about NATO. Now, let's discover some key features of the North Atlantic Organization Treaty. Well, one of the key facts is that is what it was formed. The purpose was to deter the Soviet expansionism. Due to the Second World War, which had ravaged Europe over and over for 6 years, most European countries became weaker, and in both terms, military and economically. In contrast, on the other side, the communist Soviet Union emerged from the war much stronger, which encouraged communist groups and leaders to start threatening governments of Europe. Well, that was the initial purpose. Another fact is that all NATO decisions are made through consensus. What that means. Under, for example, the 4th article of NATO Treaty, member countries are free to disagree on particular issue, but that problem must be discussed among the members until an agreement is reached, which then become the common decision of the organization. Another important key feature An attack on one member state is an attack on all. Yes, is a basic principle within NATO operational manual. The principle is enshrined in Article number 5 of the organization's treaty, which commits that each member state should consider an attack on one member state as an attack to all of them or all the organization. Well, another key feature is that NATO has its own military. It consists of largely military structured organizations under common commands. It does not have its own permanent army. However, it has a number of standing forces active on duty that contribute to the alliance collective defense on a permanent basis. Well, another fact is that NATO was founded by its own members. And since the establishment in 1949, NATO has maintained an open door policy. The policy is based on Article 10 of the organization treaty, which states that any European country is free to join the alliance and fund the alliance. Well, these were the key features for the NATO organization or North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now, let's take a look in the former Warsaw Pact organization and see its key features. Well, the Warsaw Pact was formed later, and now comes the cool, interesting things you should know. As a description, the Warsaw Pact was formally called Warsaw Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation and Mutual Assistance. In May 14, 1951, and its main work was to help each other between the member states in case of them got attacked, and was also, like NATO, a mutual defense purpose organization. Well, the most important fact is that the Warsaw Pact was created to counter NATO. Reaction to the integration of West Germany into the North Atlantic Treaty in 1955. So, it was created and founded by the Soviet Union after the Soviet Union failed to attempt to join NATO. Well, the Warsaw Pact was created after Soviet Union saw its request to join NATO were rejected several times by the top members of the NATO, including UK, US, and French. After the Warsaw Pact provided an assurance of security. This pact, the Warsaw Pact, also allowed the Soviet Union to gain control over the military forces of its members thus making Soviet Union too strong to risk the chance of attacking one of its countries. The pact made Soviet Union one of the strongest entities in the world. Then, on the other members felt the effect of the pact. The Warsaw Pact led to expansion of the military forces. This is another key feature. Well, their military personnel grew so much in number and continued engaging in military operations for the Warsaw Pact members. Its largest military engagement was the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia in August 1968, where all members of the pact participated except Albania and Romania. It later resulted to Albania withdrawing from the pact 1 month later. Another fact is that the Warsaw Pact, due to its defense organization and purpose to counter NATO, was never in direct conflict with NATO. The two sides had developed fear for each other because of the strength of each other's armies and weapons. And of course, because each of them held nuclear weapons, and such could not go to war with other. The Warsaw Pact was declared moribund in 1991 and bring an end to the Cold War. As a result, the Soviet troops who had been deployed in several countries were withdrawn. In several East countries were withdrawn. This is also around the same time when USSR or the Soviet Union broke into several independent countries, and the decades-long confrontation between Eastern and Western Europe was formally rejected by all former members of the pact. Right. Well, actually, I think we should be thankfully that the two alliances never fought a direct war or they were never inflicted a direct conflict, and this thing kept the peace in Europe. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, even if it has a political tint. I think it's still relaxing and should also be taken into account. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see next time. That will be tomorrow with another Geography SMR video. Until then, I wish you all the best, and bye bye. That's the